The morning it all began, the janitor almost skipped breakfast. The cafeteria lights were still dim, the floors cold beneath his worn shoes, and the smell of disinfectant clung to the air like a second skin. He balanced a paper tray with 2 eggs, a slice of toast, and a bruised apple, cheap, simple, enough to get him through another long shift. Then he saw her. A young soldier sat alone at the far table, shoulders slumped, uniform neat but frayed at the cuffs, staring at an empty cup as if it might answer her prayers. He didn't know why he stopped. Maybe it was the way she rubbed her hands together, like she was trying to warm something deeper than her fingers. Maybe it was the look of someone who hadn't slept, hadn't eaten, and hadn't been seen. Whatever it was, he slid his tray across the table without a word. She looked up, startled, eyes glassy. "Sir, I can't," she whispered. He smiled the tired smile of a single dad who had learned to give even when he had little. "I can," he said. "And today, that's enough. If this moment already has your heart tugging, stay with me, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe, because this story only gets deeper from here." His name was Daniel Reed, a single father of 2 kids who thought their dad's job was the most boring job in the world. He scrubbed floors at a Naval Command facility before dawn and after dusk, piecing together overtime to keep the lights on and cereal in the cupboard. Since his wife passed, mornings were a blur of packing lunches, tying shoes, and reminding himself to keep breathing. He knew what hunger felt like, not the dramatic kind, but the quiet, grinding kind that sits with you and waits. So when he saw the soldier hesitate, then slowly break the toast in half as if it might disappear, he felt something settle right in his chest. Her name was Lily Hart, though almost no one used it. To most, she was just Seaman Hart, another face in formation, another name on a clipboard. She had enlisted against her family's wishes, determined to make it on her own. What no one at that table knew was that she was the daughter of one of the most respected admirals in the fleet. And what Daniel didn't know was that the week before, Lily had been told her emergency hardship request was denied. Her savings were gone, her roommate transferred, and pride had kept her from calling home. She hadn't eaten since the day before. They sat in silence as she ate, tears slipping down her cheeks and onto the tray. Daniel pretended not to notice. He told her about his kids instead, how his son hated math but loved building things, how his daughter corrected his grammar with the seriousness of a drill sergeant. Lily laughed despite herself, the sound surprising them both. For a moment, the world felt lighter. Word travels fast in places like that. By lunchtime, a few soldiers were whispering about the janitor who gave away his breakfast. Some laughed, some shook their heads. A petty officer joked that kindness wouldn't pay the bills. Daniel heard it all as he pushed his mop down the corridor. He had heard worse. That afternoon, he stayed late to help a supervisor with an inspection. He didn't see Lily again that day. The next morning, she was waiting. She had 2 trays this time. "I couldn't sleep," she said, setting one in front of him. "So I made sure I got here early." Daniel hesitated, then nodded. They ate together, talking about nothing and everything. Over the next weeks, it became a routine. Sometimes others joined them, quietly at first, then more openly. A soldier shared his story about sending money home. A medic admitted she skipped meals to save for school. Daniel listened, never preaching, just present. But not everyone approved. A facilities manager pulled Daniel aside, warned him about loitering and fraternization. Daniel nodded, apologized, and kept his head down. At home, bills stacked up. His son needed braces. His daughter asked why he always looked so tired. There were nights Daniel wondered if giving away that breakfast had been a mistake. Then he'd remember Lily's face that first morning, and the doubt would ease. One rainy evening, Daniel found Lily crying behind the maintenance bay. Her letter from home lay crumpled in her hand. Her father, she hadn't told Daniel who he was, wanted her to come back, to accept help. She felt like a failure. Daniel sat beside her on the cold concrete and told her about the day he signed the hospital papers alone, about learning that strength wasn't refusing help but knowing when to take it. "You don't have to prove your worth by suffering," he said softly. "You already matter." The following week, everything changed. The base buzzed with preparation. A high-ranking admiral was visiting for an inspection and ceremony. Floors had to shine, windows spotless. Daniel worked double shifts. Lily avoided him, nervous, distant. On the morning of the visit, Daniel noticed her in full dress uniform, standing straighter than usual, eyes fixed forward. He gave her a small nod. She didn't look back. The ceremony drew a crowd. Daniel watched from the back, mop in hand, as the Admiral took the podium. A woman with a commanding presence, silver hair pulled tight, eyes sharp but tired. As she spoke about service and sacrifice, her gaze drifted, and locked onto Lily. Something in her expression softened, then hardened again. At the end of the speech, the Admiral did something unexpected. She asked for Seaman Hart to step forward. The room held its breath. Lily walked to the stage, hands trembling. The Admiral's voice broke as she spoke of courage not just in battle, but in humility, in accepting help, in choosing compassion. She told a story, of a stranger who gave up his breakfast, of how that small act reached farther than he could imagine. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. The Admiral turned, scanning the room, and found Daniel. "Sir," she said, beckoning him forward. Daniel froze. His supervisor whispered urgently. He walked on legs that felt like they belonged to someone else. The Admiral looked at him, eyes wet. "You fed my daughter," she said simply. Daniel swallowed, heart pounding. "I just shared a meal," he replied.